In the very aftermath of learning the truth, it was really hard to reconcile my head and my heart. I love this person, but this person doesn't exist. I literally felt like I was split in two.
In the Amazon original documentary, Who the is Jason Porter, Toronto realtor Heather Rovet thought she'd found real love with Jace, but her world shattered when she discovered he was Jason Porter, a convicted con artist who had deceived countless women.
What begins as a heartbreak becomes a powerful journey of courage as Heather turns pain into purpose, fighting to expose the truth and protect others from the same fate.
I'm curious about what you would say to people who are watching this and going, how can I ever approach the world and know that anyone that I'm going to meet is worthy of my trust?
Has he responded to that, the idea that you're putting your story out?
I don't think you get Amazon Prime in jail. I don't know if they get to watch TV.
I don't know. Do you think he did feel, though? Please welcome Heather.
Hello.
Hello, welcome
So
to
much
Cook and
to
Tell.
get into, so much. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah,
I'm a little tired. I mean, I was on TV shows last night with Australia.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So they were like, you're talking to me in the future. I'm like, this is great.
Because a lot of it just kind of happened this year, and this has been a 6-year journey for you to find peace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, depending where you want to start.
Yeah. First of all, let's start what happened in
Yes.
January. Let's start with the ending.
With the ending.
Yeah.
The final ending actually just happened in April. On April 14th, I think it was April 14th, there was the sentencing hearing, the second part of it, and the judge came back with her ruling, and he is now in jail. He got 2 years less 1 day and 3 years probation. So he was let out of the courtroom in handcuffs, and I was watching from Italy because I was on a holiday.
You were in Italy, huh?
I was in Italy.
Perfect.
Yes. And it was really amazing. Like, to be honest, I was actually exhausted afterwards because I've been on this journey for so long and I finally got my ending.
Yeah. Does it feel like real closure? Like, oftentimes when something that earth-shattering happens, you know, a few months ago, it's still kind of fresh. Are you still feeling reverberations from everything?
Absolutely. And to when you watch the documentary, there's a little part where I'm standing outside the courthouse and all the people come out.
Yeah.
And then we talk about the flyers. That actually triggered another investigation and a completely separate set of charges, which are still pending. So I might have to be a witness at that trial if it goes to trial. So it's not totally over, but I'm just so ready to put it all behind me and keep going forward.
Okay, so you're in Italy.
Yes.
You find out this is happening.
Yes.
Did you call your mom right away?
No, because of the time change. It was so
Okay,
late there.
okay.
It was already after midnight, but we did message, and then I called her the next day and we had a really long talk and a good cry, and it's been a journey. It has been a real journey going through from learning who he was to him getting arrested for stealing all my mom's stuff to then navigating the criminal justice system for 3 years.
What was her reaction? What was the conversation like?
My mom is such a mom, and she has such a huge heart. She actually, in the moment when she saw him led out in handcuffs, she felt bad for him.
Was she there? No.
She was in person.
She was there.
Yes, she went in person with my sister and some friends and watched it all. Yep. A month before the 14th, we actually went to court. My mom did hers by Zoom because she was down south still, but I went in person to do my victim impact statement, to read it in front of the court, and that was the first time I saw him in real life since the year before when I saw him outside the court. It was really weird.
And you said your mom still felt for him, even after all of this.
Yeah, that's just how incredible and compassionate and kind and what a mom she is. You know, she just felt bad for him that he was going to be going to jail, but I told her not to. And I think she's okay with it now.
Yeah. Do you still have
Oh God, no.
None.
No. In the very aftermath of learning the truth, it was really hard to reconcile my head and my heart, because my heart was still, for me, my heart isn't a light switch. I can't just turn off emotions or feelings. So it was hard to make sense of, you know, I love this person, but this person doesn't exist, with then learning the truth of all the deception and all the lies and all the crime and manipulation. I literally felt like I was split in two.
Yeah.
But when I went to Thailand for the winter, I gave myself that beautiful gift. I remember one day being up in the north and I let it go. Like I cried and screamed, and it's like I mourned the loss of the relationship there. And yeah, I am way over him.
I wanted to ask real quickly about that. Just going back to, you know, you said you hadn't seen each other since. Preparing to see someone again, knowing that this is the moment, there might be eye contact. I mean, like, what was the process like, your thought process going into that moment before?
That's a great question, because I've never thought of that. I would say I'm kind of numb to him, right? So I had no desire to talk to him. Seeing him definitely triggered a little nerves, but when I saw him in court that day, he never looked at me.
Yeah.
He showed zero remorse, and it made it easy to be over him.
Do you hate him, or do you hate what he did?
It's a good question as well. I hate what he did. I think hate's a really strong word to use on another person.
Yeah.
So I would say I hate what he did, and I strongly dislike him. I don't even really want to give him any more of my brain or my thoughts or my energy, because he doesn't deserve it.
So this series is coming out for everyone to watch, and I'm assuming he knows about all of this. And has he responded to that, the idea that you're putting your story out?
Well, the production contacted him several times to give him the opportunity to share his story. They were also there in court and again approached him, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He ignored all communication. So he knows it's out, but because he's in jail, I don't think you get Amazon Prime in jail. I don't know if they get to watch TV.
I don't know.
You know? I don't know.
I probably get MTV. I don't know. So we went through your social media, and this is the first photo I found, and it's so fitting because we were just talking about this earlier, but this is in 2012.
Yep. Those were my first two dogs, Lily and Edgar. Lily, they were both rescues.
Yeah.
And I had Lily first, and then I rescued Edgar, and they were amazing. They actually both lived to be around 15.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I loved them. They were so cute.
And you had a dog recently as well that passed away.
Baxter, who's in the docu-series prominently, it made me so happy. I had to put him to sleep last summer, and it was very heartbreaking. But I have a new dog.
You do?
I rescued another dog.
Just gonna ask. Yeah.
He's really cute. His name's Tommy. He came from Cairo.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, he's a little like scruffy mixed grufter.
Are you the kind of person that couldn't see themselves without a dog in their life?
Yeah.
I took a little break, obviously, between Baxter and getting Tommy, but I love being a dog mom. Like, I love the ritual of the first thing I do in the morning is get up and go for a walk. And after I put Baxie to sleep, I missed my walks. And I'm not one to just take myself for a walk. I like the company of a dog. And it's just so nice. You come home and they're so happy to see you. And
I agree.
Yeah.
I hate going for walks without the dog, or I hate cardio. That's what it is. Going out and like, where am I going? What's my destination? But if you have a dog, you're like, it's good. But do you find dog is part of your security as well? Don't fall.
whoa.
This is my core training, getting me,
There you go.
keeping me from it. Hold up. I'm gonna sit like this just in case.
Oh, you're good.
I'm gonna be such a responsible person sitting up right now.
Wait, is that part of it? Having a dog part of your security?
100%. So when I was in the aftermath, when I had to leave Aurora and I was camped out at my parents' condo back in Toronto, Baxter was my lifeline.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that little dog has been through a lot. And I've said this before to somebody, dogs I think feel trauma. You know, he felt
They know.
displaced. They know when you're
for sure.
upset. They know, but gosh, I think anyone who suffers from PTSD or depression, getting a dog or a cat, but a dog gets you out and you meet people, and that unconditional love is the best.
In your darkest moments through this process, the hardest days, how did you cope? What did you do to get yourself through?
I'd take the dog for a walk. I'd wake up and have a bubble bath. You know, instead of winding down with one, I would ease into the day like that. I really gave myself grace to just process and feel all the feels, but it was also such a confusing time because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should be talking to a family lawyer or a criminal lawyer or a business lawyer. I thank my lucky stars every day for my family and my support group with my friends. Like, I am so blessed with that.
Because it consumes you. Even you see that in the series in your eyes too. You're just like, what do I need to do? And I think you convinced yourself at one point, like, this is what I need to do to protect other women. You were almost doing it not just for yourself, you were doing it for everyone else. But it consumed you. I could see it taking over. And how do you deal with that? Because I feel like you're thinking about it all the time.
I can't lie. I definitely, it became my focus, my purpose, my mission to not only get to the bottom of the truth, which I still don't know. I still have lots of missing puzzle pieces in my life with him. I've never had the opportunity to talk to anyone in his family to know what his childhood was like. But yeah, I had to learn who he was, and I had to stop him so he didn't do this over and over and over again. And to be honest, like, he never stopped.
He never stopped.
He kept going up until he was taken away. And he's a predator. And when I phoned the police the first time in Aurora, they looked at me like I was just this is a civil situation, this is a domestic situation, there's nothing we can do to help you. And I thought that was shocking. I think if a woman is terrified, there should be something that can be put in place to help her. But yeah, I became obsessed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that obsession, you have this going on, you want this to happen. When did you let that obsession go? I don't think it's the day he was cuffed. I feel like it was something else that...
I still have a little obsession. Like, there's
You're
still,
right,
I still find myself going on the Ontario court dockets to see when his next court appearance is going to be, because he does have some outstanding charges. I don't know if it'll ever fully go away, but it doesn't have, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm so glad this is behind you, you can get over it. It's not something you really ever get over, but I am healthy. Like, I'm not crazy about it. I am moving on. I do wake up every day. I take really good care of myself. It's like being an investigative journalist almost. Like, I just want the truth. I think I still want to find some of my missing puzzle pieces from my time with him.
What did this experience reveal to you about, like, the missing spots, the weak spots that we have societally when it comes to, predators like this?
There needs to be a law. Like, this is ridiculous. It happens so often now, right?
Yeah.
There has to be something.
I didn't know I was living with a predator, but it would be great if we could start something to help women. I mean, I don't know if that's a responsibility on the dating apps for those to help women. There are those Facebook groups, Are We Dating the Same Guy, where women post all the time, and he was posted a couple times. At the end of the day, we all want love. We all want to be in love. We want to meet people. And it's scary that people weaponize that. They take something that should be just so fun and beautiful, and they hurt people.
Yeah, well said. Okay, we'll go with one of your photos. You can pick whichever you want.
I'm going to try this one.
The first one to ever take the furthest one.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's going to make me cry. those are my parents. And as you both know, my dad passed away last October. I love this picture. So this was just a few months after it happened. We were celebrating New Year's Eve together up at our family farm. They're really cute. It's Ernest and Joanne.
Your dad knew.
He had his hunches. He had some hunches. He would often say, Jace portrayed himself to be this successful business person and had traveled around so much and lived in China and Japan. And my dad just felt, for a guy of that level, he felt his language and his verbal skills were not matching. He would say, Jace sounds like a thug. And he was right.
How's your mom?
She's okay.
She's okay.
She's okay. I mean, we miss my dad
Yeah.
tremendously. They met in high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
They would have been married for 58 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a huge, I just love him.
And it's interesting when you have parents who have been together for so long, you kind of look for that as well, right? That happiness, that's a goal.
Yeah. They're beautiful, beautiful people.
What did you learn from them about love?
That's a very good question. Well, my dad loved me unconditionally. My mom loves me unconditionally. Love is support. It's a feeling and it's a way of being. And it's going to ebb and flow, and you're going to have ups and downs. And if it's real, you stand by your people. They're great. It's cool seeing this photo, actually, because I can see what I get from my mom and what I get from my dad.
And your mom's
My dad's
hot.
nice. Oh, thanks. She'd love to know. She's also very smart. She's retired now, but she worked her whole career at Sick Children. She was a neuroscientist, psychologist. She was very... her research was a lot in brain and behavior, and my dad was a lawyer.
I
Yeah,
love that. It's a great way to start.
that's a great picture.
It is.
Another one?
Yeah.
I'll go with. Oh, open house.
Open house.
Yeah, that's typical realtor getting ready for your.
So, I mean, this all started with you being in real estate and people coming through, and do you meet weird people through it? I'm just gonna ask, like, do people come in and like hit on you? And is it a space that people?
That can happen.
It can happen. Okay.
You're essentially public facing
Yeah.
and available to people.
Well, yeah,
Right?
and if you're doing an open house, you're opening somebody's house to the public. And
Yeah.
I've had open houses many years ago, where homeless people have walked in off the street, crazy people who just want to talk come in and monopolize your
Yeah.
time. I mean, at this point, I don't really do as many open houses as I used to. But yeah, that's a great sign, that picture. That was a fun little brokerage too, but they've changed their name. But yeah, that's typical day in the life of a realtor.
Do you find do you feel safety? I don't know, like when you're doing work, do you feel that you are safe, or do you have this space where you're just nervous about who's going to walk in, or your own safety in that way?
No, I think
Okay.
since COVID, open housing has changed a lot as well. And my feeling is if somebody's coming out to your open house, they're pretty actively looking, and most people are working with a realtor, so they'll sign in and like leave their realtor's contact, or they're coming through with their realtor. If it's a really hot property, I would probably bring a colleague and have two of us there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a great one.
That's the life.
Yes, it can be. I get to pick.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go with
All
this one now.
yours.
Oh.
So that's a shot of that video.
Yeah. This is the video.
It's not a great shot, but that video.
That video, that's the one where I'm crying saying,
You announced everything, yeah.
it was right. I think it was also Christmas time, right? And I was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
that was such a crazy time in this whole process, this whole story. I had I was still living at my parents' out of boxes and suitcases. I had extracted everything from the house in Aurora, including the furniture company, which I had rented this massive storage locker, and basically every day was like just trying to sell what I could. And it was the holidays, and all of a sudden I realized, like, oh my gosh, like I'm not getting to do Christmas, no Christmas tree this year. I felt very alone, really, really alone. But I also, in the video, told myself, like, I'm not going to cry in a year. You know, I'm not going to let this hold me.
You know, everything that we see of you, and even just talking to you now, an open person is what I get. A people person is what I get. Someone who's capable. Someone who knows that they can handle themselves. What point did you go through this and go, I don't even see myself anymore. I don't recognize myself right now.
You posted that on April 5th, 2022.
I did. Okay, so I shot this. I actually made this video probably around Christmas 2021.
Yeah.
And this would have been New Year's Eve, 2021. So I look a bit happier there. There were mornings in the aftermath, so in September and October of 2021, where I would wake up and I would go and stare at myself in the mirror. And I think I had been listening to the Mel Robbins audiobook about the high five, and I would literally high five myself in the mirror. I'd be like, good fucking, like, can I swear?
Yeah,
Like,
he
good
did.
fucking morning, like, and tears would just stream down my face, and I would stare in the mirror at myself, and I'm like, who are those eyes? Like, they were just empty, so empty. But it started, you know, it's like you peak, and then it just starts to get better.
Did you go through all the phases, from the sadness to the anger to letting it go?
Oh
within
yeah,
that
but
time
I
period?
probably looped and looped and looped. I think
Yeah.
for a long time I bounced between like sadness, anger, anguish, shock, disbelief, back to anger, heartbroken. Like I was all over the place. Bittersweet, you know, thank you Facebook for sending me those memories of I used to be happy,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think it's linear. I think you bounce back and forth, and you go through a lot of different emotions. But it's good. You have to let yourself feel. You can't
that
just sweep it
yeah.
under a rug.
Yeah.
In that post you wrote, I made this video as a reminder to myself, so when I was feeling better and stronger, I had a reference to see how far I'd come.
Yeah. So if I posted that in April, yeah, it was ongoing, because there was probably after making this and posting that, there were some more ups and downs for sure. And but I'm glad. I mean,
You're on the other side now.
yeah, and you know, if anyone goes and watches this on social, like, I'm not embarrassed about it. I don't have anything to hide. I think people need to see the raw, the real. I think especially on social media, we filter our faces and we try to make everything this perfect little box and this perfect little world. And it's not. Life is messy. This is extreme, but
It's great.
thanks.
I think that's what it is. Authenticity is you're sharing your story. And for you to shoot this show, was that hard to go back and relive the moments again?
A little bit. I mean, Henry, the director, is amazing. He's such the whole team, like everyone at Blink 49, Allison, there were 2 Allisons, there was Claire, like everyone was just so supportive. And there were times where I found it very humbling that my story was being made and people would thank me for sharing it. And Henry warned me though, like, today's going to be hard. I'm going to take you to some dark places. And I just surrendered. I was like, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime thing I'm probably going to do, and I'll go for it. I'll just go through it all.
I imagine there must have been some reservations about either telling it or the way it was going to be told. What were those conversations with yourself like?
Those conversations with myself, I just told myself I have to keep going. And I would also have conversations with the other women in it, because we were all a bit nervous. I mean, you don't want to put yourself out there. There's always going to be haters, and I'm sure there's going to be people who watch it and are like, these women are how didn't they see? They're crazy. But we weren't. And it's actually very empowering to come together and bond and collectively, talk about it and share our story. And there were more women, like we couldn't put, not everyone wanted to participate.
Sure.
And there just probably isn't enough time to make that long of a show.
How many women are we talking?
Well, there's probably hundreds, but contacting me directly, at least 20.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is it therapeutic to talk to the other ladies as well?
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to bond over, but they know what you've been through. So it makes it actually easier. It's better than therapy sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also am careful because I don't want to stay in that low vibration. I want to be able to
Yes.
bring it up.
Yeah. Because you can't move forward.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't. Next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go for this one. Oh,
The immediate disgust.
So first question,
Yeah.
he's still on your social media page.
yes.
Why?
Why? I left these posts up so people can go back and see I was truly happy that there is truth to my story. So I think I'll keep them up for, I'm not ashamed, I'm not embarrassed. In this moment at the Bruno Mars concert, I was so happy. I was so in love. I think I look pretty cute.
Yeah, you were great.
Yeah, I feel like it just gives truth and validation to my whole story. Because I think if I did wipe my social media clean of that period of my life, then there's no reference to go back and see it. So that's why I kept it. But I don't know. When you see this, do you think he looks happy? Or do you see a con man?
No, both of you guys look happy. That's why I think that's why I went to that photo. I was like, that's a very
He just looks like a regular dude in that photo. Right?
And you were at a Bruno Mars concert, you said? Yeah. Who bought the ticket?
Me. I bought everything.
Of course.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, last one.
Oh, motorcycle.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's
Yep.
telling too.
So this was taken when I did the course down at Cherry Beach. And again, this was where I sometimes would get tripped up with Jace. He took this picture of me. He came down and watched me from afar, learning how to ride a motorcycle. And when I got home that night, I felt like he was proud of me for doing it. And that's what has been really hard. I don't know if there were moments of truth in the 3 years where he actually was genuinely interested in me and we were having a life and having fun. But yeah, that was fun.
I think that's the other question. Do you think he did feel though?
If I let myself believe that, it makes it far too painful. For me, it's easier to think he is a narcissist, a psychopath, with no empathy, with no feeling. And he's just a really good actor because if any of his feelings were genuine, it makes it, I think, even more tragic to me and harder to really process. Because then it's hard. It means he would have actually felt something, and it's easier for me to think that he just manipulated the whole time.
Finding people to share your life with and share your time with, the entire process, it's something that actually we've been talking about a lot lately because we've been joking about how old we are with dating apps and all that stuff, right? But inherently there's a risk that you take when you're going to open yourself up to someone and say, okay, I'm going to give you a part of me. I imagine that you've gone through so many versions of what are the risks that I'm willing to take now, right? I'm curious about what you would say to people who are watching this and going, how can I ever approach the world and know that anyone that I'm going to meet, that I'm going to trust, is worthy of my trust?
That's a really good question. I love it. I don't think anyone wants to go through life being cynical or afraid. I think something like what I went through, I would hope lightning doesn't strike twice, meaning I hope I never again attract a con man to be played. But it also, you know, and it comes partly with age. You do become a little wiser. And I think now in my early 50s, if I met Jace, I don't know if I would still be so attracted to that. I think you get a little older, and I personally now, as much as you want that excitement and that rush, it's not, you don't, I don't need that consuming passion. I don't think when you think about somebody all the time, like I did when I first met him with the love bombing, that's healthy. And having experienced that now, moving on and dating again, my approach is very different. But me personally, I could never shut my heart down. I think love is beautiful, and I think we all deserve to be loved. And I think for the women who are on the dating apps and still looking for love, I think there are good guys out there. I have some friends who met on one of them, and I'm always like, you two are the poster child for online dating. Like, they're older, they had both been divorced. Like, it's out there. But I do think it's also great if you work your network to, maybe you'll get set up, or maybe you'll meet somebody through work or a sport, a tennis club, or I don't know. There's so many ways to meet people, right? But I don't think anyone should ever shut their heart down. I think you become a little wiser. I think if I were 20 years younger and went through this, I probably would have just skulked away and licked my wounds and hid in the shame and the embarrassment. But I think that's the beauty of getting a little older. We get more settled in ourselves, more confidence.
And you have a new understanding of how to protect your heart.
Absolutely.
As you get older too, right?
Yes.
Like find yourself,
You know, on hindsight, Jace and I moved quickly. You know, he didn't move in right away, but we started spending a lot of time together all the time. And when you date somebody and within a month, if they're talking about marriage and living together, that's a red flag for me. They call it future faking with the narcissisty types. Like, that's a lot, you know, when you have your own life. Like, yes, it's hard because you get so swept up in the excitement of something new, but that is a big red flag. And I think slow is good. You know, if the person you're with is your forever person, why rush? It's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
So did you get on dating apps right after, or did you just...
No. No. I was never one to really be on the apps very much. Like, I would dabble in them a little bit. I remember many, many years ago trying a few, and my attention span was just, I thought it was funny. I'd be swipe. I did not have the attention span to like interact and text, and so didn't have to worry about it. Then I remember when The League came out, I got invited to join that one, so I tried that because I thought, oh, this is a little more like, I don't know.
That's a different dating app?
Yeah, it's a dating app where you have to get invited to join. So I was like, okay, this is a little bit more refined. But I wasn't even using it right, it turned out, because I didn't realize you had to actually like X the matches. You get 3 a day, and so I just, every time I'd open it up, I'm like, oh, it's the same guys. I would close it, and then a friend of mine showed me how to use it. And then I met Jace, so I didn't have to worry about any of that. But I did try the apps, a couple apps last summer for the first time, and it's hard. It's a lot of work, and you know,
sounds
kudos.
like a lot of work.
Yes, like especially, you know, when I put my profile up there, within hours I had like a lot of messages, because I guess I was a fresh face. And it's a little sad that, you know, all these people are out there looking for somebody, although I bet within the dating app, you know, probably 1 in 25 people could be a predator or a psychopath.
So what would be your best, I mean, if there was any real advice you could give about protecting yourself?
From a dating app or from dating a psycho?
I feel like they're kind of intertwined in this,
Well, on the dating apps, there's some things you want to look for. You know, if somebody's pictures look too polished, I would say, you know, do a reverse image search, because it could be somebody who's being catfished along that line as well. Like, if they only have one picture and 2 sentences, I don't think they're taking it seriously. I think if somebody is genuine and serious, they're going to have a profile that is going to reel you in, and more than just one crazy picture. Or unreal photo. Because that being said, when you take it to, if you do go into those Facebook groups, women are always sharing little tidbits about spilling the tea or the red flags with these guys on the dating apps. And I have read a few of the posts where women are like, is this a real person? Wow. So that's what you could do. Right, you could do a reverse image search.
Yeah.
I mean, jokingly, when I first started getting back into the idea of dating, my friends were like, okay, we're gonna run background searches on these people and we're gonna hire a private detective. Like, you could go to that extreme.
Yeah.
But I think...
I'm assuming that's Kristen who said that to you?
She's one of them. Oh, bless her, she's awesome. She's such a good friend. She's great. But I think you also, if you're on the apps, you almost want to take the conversation off the app rather quickly. I think if somebody's just hiding in that text message thread within the app, when I got into the computer that day and was in one of Jace's many dating apps, it blew me away how many women he was having these conversations with just in the app. And to me, that some of them they would share phone numbers and they'd be like, let's take this out of here. I think there's ways to do it smart and safely. I think, you know, you chat on the app, exchange phone numbers, talk, FaceTime, text, and then you go on your first date. And when you're going on your first date, make sure you share your location with at least one friend, so you know you're not, you know, if you disappear, they know where to find you, because you never know. You have to be safe.
Yeah.
I mean, that day too, when you got on the computer, Christian's there and you're hiding in I think it was a closet, right? Did you actually think he was going to hurt you?
I think I was in shock. I was definitely in shock.
Okay.
There was I know, having rewatched the documentary yesterday, there was one part where the 911 operator asks us if we think he has weapons, and I don't know if it was me or Chris, and one of us is like, we're like a gun? Like, I never thought of him to be, I saw him lose
he was
his,
violent with you in
all those tickling videos. That was, I didn't realize, again, that's part of that whole coercive control, manipulation, emotional abuse. But my time with Jace, I never saw him with any weapon, but I did see him lose his temper a couple times, and it's scary. It's scary. And when the journalist who wrote the article did some more digging, like there were family court documents that talked about punching holes in walls, and that's scary. And he also was a active injector of steroids, so that I think fuels testosterone, right?
Yeah,
that was a scary scene.
But no, he literally came in through the dining room window, and I came flying out of the bedroom, and I was screaming. I was in sheer adrenaline and trauma and stress, like shock. I was probably in shock. And I just remember he went and made himself a coffee.
That was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he looked at me like, I just remember screaming at him, going like, I know everything. And he looked at me and was like, whatever. So.
He's probably used to it. But you're now dating, right?
Yes.
Now you found somebody and you're happy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and he's an amazing, authentic, genuine, beautiful soul.
I love that.
And we were actually just in Italy.
Oh, nice.
That's where, when I was zooming in, we were in Italy.
Oh, with him? There you go.
Nice.
That's a beautiful ending, right?
And he's paying for concerts.
We actually haven't been to a concert yet, but we're actually going back to Italy to see the opera in a few months. Yeah.
Good for you. That's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it's going to help so many people.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, the reason why I actually, to be honest, when the story came out in the magazine, that was one thing. And they did warn me, your story is quite salacious. Don't be surprised if it gets picked up into more. I always thought it would make an awesome true crime podcast, but when Allison from Blink 49 approached me about turning it into a docuseries, I was like, okay. And the other women in it are just angels, and they're fantastic. And I just have so much gratitude to everyone involved. And I hope it helps people.
I wish you all the happiness
Thank
and all the
you.
love
Thank
and
you.
Of course, yeah.
clarity, right? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Clarity, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
you.
Yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
was
Thank
fun.
you.